So there's so-called freedom convoy truckers. The word freedom shouldn't be in it. All that was fueled by Alex Jones followers and has nothing to do with their own mind, really. What it all started is with Alex Jones lies, like always tell the lies. So he makes up lies. What's in the vaccines? He just makes them all up, and they all don't make no sense. One is microchips in the vaccine. Teeny weeny little microchips. These little tiny things they could not really work on. These cannot squeeze through a needle like this. So, anyways, they believe that through the words of QAnon and Alex Jones, that there's microchips in them to control the minds of the people. That's one of them. The other is that they put graphene. Is it graphite? Graphene. Yeah, graphene in the vaccine. That makes absolutely no sense because the vaccine would be discolored a dark color, not clear fluids. So they believe that they put graphene in the vaccine to kill us in 2 years. That's two conspiracy theorist lies that was made up by Alex Jones and QAnon. I think they pretty much work together. They say the same things. So those are one of the two reasons why a lot of people don't want to get the vaccine, because they say the same old memo they always pass on to other people who are not I was going to say Trump every time, but Trump is the same. Alex Jones. It's all the same memo that Alex Jones tell people. They tell people, you don't know what's in it. You don't know what's in it. And all those things. And it's all about they mirror, um, they deflect everything. They are deflecting everything. They say the same things, the same MO, like all these followers do. When Alex Jones followers tell other people, you don't know what's in the vaccine, and all that, all those lies, microchips in the vaccines. I mean, come on, you can't. There's no microchips in those vaccines because it cannot squeeze through the needle. Two, it's impossible to create something that's so tiny that can control your minds. The mind is so complicated. Not even neurosurgeons can understand the mind, or any of those professionals like that deals with that. They know it's a complicated thing. So, and all that, all those lies started the convoy truckers. It's not freedom. They lost the freedom when they start believing all those lies. Like, it's very obvious. Anyone can see common sense, they're lies. So, they shouldn't put the word freedom in the convoy truckers at all. They prevented the freedoms of people sleeping. They wrecked people's days, lives, prevented them from sleeping like 3 weeks. Businesses had to close down because of the so-called freedom convoys, but like I said, there's no freedom. Also, they blocked the border. There's no freedom in that. There's no freedom blocking people's goods and services to cross the borders. He prevented freedom. They are so brainwashed that they can't even tell between science and science fiction. common sense to science fiction. So that's where all the convoy truckers mentality came from. Is from Alex Jones' followers spreading the lies, telling people like you don't know what's in them, you don't know what's in the vaccine. And we all know that there's no microchips in them. There's no graphene in his vaccines for the most obvious reasons. And we're not gonna die in 2 years. Think about like well over 80, 85, like 85% of the human population dead in like 2 years. Makes no sense. Yes, all this information is on their websites. Like I've been saying, InfoWars, click on like some tags that leads you to his pages, websites and stuff. Yeah, just use keywords, tags, and you can find them easily. Check. I don't know if there's any Facebook groups left of him, but I know YouTube got rid of Alex Jones a long time ago because there's a lot of defaming, and Alex Jones has been breaking a lot of YouTube rules and everything else. So, so yeah, the convoy truckers, there's no freedom, nada. They prevented normalcy. They promote nurses to have increased care and mental fatigue. They do support increase of that. There's no freedom of nurses canceling their vacations, working double shifts, lack of ventilations, not wanting the other patients to get sick with patients with COVID and people and stuff like that. Those convoy truckers do not think that. They do not think. They're so brainwashed with by the followers of Alex Jones and QAnon. It's very sickening. There's no freedom at all. Those convoy truckers do not promote freedom. If they did, they would not block the border for people's goods to cross. They wouldn't prevent Ontario civilians from sleeping for 3 weeks. They prevented their sleep deprivation. Like the civilians of Ontario didn't really get any sleep for 3 weeks, and the businesses lost money because of the truckers. There's no freedom on destroying people's lives because there's so much ignorance. It's just all ignorance. Yes, you have a freedom to be very ignorant, but what the cause wasn't anything to do with freedom. I'm sorry. There's no freedom in it, and it's all caused by the lies. Started with QAnon and Alex Jones, and a lot of people do know that they don't believe any of their lies. Alex Jones' lies goes back to man-made earthquakes that destroyed Chile. The lies that started with that is Hugo Chavez. And we're not going to talk about Hugo because that's a long information about him, and he started some of the conspiracy theorists that created Alex Jones. Alex Jones borrowed some of the conspiracies from Hugo Chavez, not all, but certain ones, and it's still going after so many years. So I have to make separate videos of this because it's so big, it's so much information, and it all leads to the source, like bread, like follow the breadcrumbs. So the freedom convoys is sickening. There's no freedom, but they're not promoted freedom. It's quite the opposite. It's assault of Ontario people's sleep, assault on businesses, assault on people's goods and crossing the border. It's all assaults to normalcy. And they are against healthcare. They're against nurses. They support increase of fatigue and care fatigue, mental fatigue in nurses. They do not promote anything good but assault on us who's trying to get back to normal living. They don't know history. of how all this started at all. So, once again, there is no such thing as freedom convoy truckers. I'll call it assaults. Assault on a democracy of living, because it was assault on Ontario people, democracy to sleeping, assault on democracy businesses trying to earn, assault on our borders. It's all assault. And all these lies, and why they started all this because of the followers of um, Alex Jones. And if you guys do not know if I'm telling the truth or not, look up Alex Jones, find his and find his pages, groups, everything else, especially InfoWars. It's all on there, and he has different platforms. If you're smart enough, you can find him by following the tags under his name, what he is, who he is, and things will come up. And he could have some black web stuff too. Like he might be part of the black web website. So yeah, try and help people who has following his lies. You just have to ask him a lot of questions. Not in one day, not in 2 days. It takes time for them to really figure out um his lies, like all these lies. You have to like get them to use their little finale right here. So proof, facts, anything like that doesn't work on it because they were brainwashed to deflect. That's all these followers do, is deflect information, mirror information, stuff like that. Like it, that's how they're trained by these cult leaders. That yeah. So um, just have to ask questions. A lot of like 101 type questions can take days, weeks, months, not constantly, but it gets them to start using the heads. Like it will start. They can debunk themselves. And if you're a conspiracy theorist of Alex Jones, please use your head. Make some common sense. You can't use your head and common sense when you follow Alex Jones and QAnon. Like I said, none of them, what they say about the vaccines makes no sense. They make lies immediately, and they have no credibility, such as references, citations, and nothing that leads to any information that they have. They don't show that on any of the articles, websites, or nothing. There's no references to any of this. No citations, cited information, references, no nothing. And if they have the odd ones that only shows normal people blogging information, and that's where the odd ones that he shows or talks about is through like a random blogger who has no bachelor's degree, no PhD, no nothing. Just a person who likes writing stuff with no background education on the subjects. Just a good writer, but no science educations, no nothing. That yeah. So anyways, that's a whole new different topic, and this one is all about the pro assaults convoy truckers, and I call them assaulters because what they are doing has nothing to do with freedom. If you're butthurt, who cares? I'm just stating the fact of their actions, and the words is all assault. And they don't like us using our heads, breaking information apart. We just don't like lies. Okay, I don't like lies. I don't like manipulation. I don't like exaggeration. It irritates me. So, make good choices. Talk to your friends or families. And Don't talk about politics unless you want to ask them 101 questions. When you do this, be calm. Don't get emotionally irrational and all that stuff. I know I get really irritated, so shut the guy up. And he shuts up. So, um, uh, so, so yeah, just talk to people, loved ones. Make sure they don't end up killing themselves or any other people around them or strangers because they're following Alex Jones' QAnon words. And peace out. And don't support the anti-freedom convoy truckers.